Annyeong! Welcome to the first episode of my free Korean conversation course taught by me, Billy Go. Today we're going to listen to a real conversation about the weather and then learn grammar, expressions, and vocabulary from each sentence, all in an easy-to-understand way.
Billy, down here.
Oh, hi, KeyCat. What are you doing here?
I heard you're starting another video course, and I wanted to offer my help.
Oh, that's so nice of you, KeyCat, but I think I'm good this time.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got everything ready to start. I have my notes, and I even got native Korean speakers to record all of the conversations.
Oh, that's great. Well, okay.
Is something wrong, KeyCat?
No, I just thought you might need me to help.
Nope, I'm good. But really, thanks for asking.
Oh, okay.
So, first of all, who am I? Well, I started learning Korean back in 2005 through self-study, and I lived in Korea from 2005 until 2007, and I still visit frequently. I also worked doing Korean telephone translation from 2009 to 2012. I started the Learn Korean with Go Billy Korean YouTube channel in 2012, and I first published Korean Made Simple back in 2014, followed by more content, and now there's lots of content. So what is this course? Well, it's a free course for improving your Korean through conversations. You'll learn Korean through 20 natural, full, real-world conversations. These conversations will cover common and essential topics that you will encounter. Every conversation also includes audio by native speakers. And each sentence is broken down and explained in detail. Also, did I mention that this course is completely free?
Did you say natural Korean conversations?
Yeah, KeyCat, that's kind of the theme of this course.
Hold on, I know a great program that can make unlimited Korean conversations using artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence? I don't know.
Okay, it's ready. I'll put it on the screen.
All right then, let's see what we've got. Hi, how's the weather today? Yeah, the weather is really good. The sky is bright and I feel good. Yeah, I think this kind of weather's perfect for going on a trip. What do you want to do? Yeah, it's kind of natural, KeyCat, but it's also not.
What do you mean?
Well, the grammar's fine, but it sounds more like a textbook. I mean, nobody actually talks like that in real life.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks, KeyCat. I really appreciate it, but I think for this course, I'll be okay.
Well, if you need anything else, just let me know.
Okay, thanks, KeyCat. So, one more thing that you should know about this course is that there's also a book version. First of all, it is not required for this free video course. The book version has the same contents as this video course, and you get 5 additional conversations, for a total of 25. It also comes with complete audio files for every conversation. You can get it in print, PDF, and ebook versions, and I'll put a link to where you can get it in the description. So, who is this course for? Well, if you can already speak some amount of Korean or more, and you want to sound more like a native, or if you've already learned the basics and you want an overview of higher level grammar, vocabulary, and expressions. And anyone who's interested in learning details about how Korean is spoken in real situations. If you're a new beginner, instead you can also check out my free video series, Beginner Korean Course, before starting on this course. Note that this course will review some beginning concepts, such as basic grammar, but will not be covering them again in detail except when necessary. So then how can you get the most out of this course? Well, number 1, take notes while moving through every lesson. And then after each lesson, practice and review all of the topics that were covered. Don't rush. Do one lesson at a time, or you can do several, but make sure that you can still follow all of the material. You can pause and rewatch any lessons as you need, and only do as many lessons as you can practice. Remember, nobody will master Korean overnight. It takes time. Complete all of these lessons in order. Grammar and vocabulary will only be introduced once. So if you skip around, you might miss something in a previous lesson. And even if you're already advanced, you might still learn something new. Note that this course contains many new grammar forms and vocabulary words, but the focus will be on the conversations. If you find something that you're not familiar with, I recommend first reviewing it by using my free video series, Beginner Korean Course, watching other lessons, or checking in a dictionary. Here are a few questions I know I'm going to get asked. Is this course really free? Yes, it is 100% free. If you paid for this video series in any way, get a refund. Next, will I speak Korean well, great, or fluently by the end of this course? No, this course is for improving your Korean. It won't make someone automatically fluent. And what if I have more questions or comments? Well, that's my actual email on the screen. You can contact me there. Just know that I'm a real person and I do also have to sleep sometimes. So now that you've been properly introduced to this course, let's get into our first conversation about the weather. Why the weather? Well, it's one of the most common things you're going to talk about in Korean, whether it's bad and you're complaining about it, or it's good weather and you're making plans to go somewhere. So first, let's just listen to the full conversation and then we'll go over it in detail and see what we can learn from it.
춥다.
철수 씨 왔어요? 밖에 많이 춥죠?
네, 이번 겨울 들어서 오늘이 제일 추운 것 같아요.
그러니까요. 바람만 안 불어도 괜찮을 것 같은데.
맞아요. 오늘은 정말 칼바람이에요. 제 코 빨개졌죠?
네, 철수 씨 지금 딱 루돌프 같아요.
내일은 마스크도 써야겠어요. 너무 춥네요, 정말.
그러게요. 2달 전만 해도 겨울이 빨리 왔으면 했는데 이제 여름이 그리워요.
그래요? 그럼 영희 씨는 어떤 계절을 제일 좋아하세요?
저는 봄이요.
봄 좋죠. 뭔가 새로 시작하는 느낌도 들고.
네, 저는 사실 생일이 봄이라서 봄을 좋아해요. 철수 씨는요?
저는 추워도 겨울이 좋아요.
정말요? 왜요?
겨울에 먹을 수 있는 맛있는 음식이 많아서요.
아, 그렇네요. 겨울엔 역시 붕어빵이죠.
맞아요. 저기 버스 정류장 앞에 있는 붕어빵집 되게 맛있는데 먹어봤어요?
아니요? 이 근처에 붕어빵집이 있는지 몰랐어요. 혹시 슈붕도 파나요?
네네. 거기 슈붕도 팔아요. 슈붕 좋아하세요?
네, 철수 씨도 슈붕 파세요?
저 원래 슈붕 좋아하는데 그 집은 슈붕보다 팥붕이 맛있더라고요.
그럼 이따가 슈붕이랑 팥붕 둘 다 사봐야겠어요.
There is so much that we can learn from this conversation, so let's take a look at it again line by line. Remember to take notes so that you can check them later on.
춥다.
Wow, it's cold. Oh is used as an exclamation when shocked or disgusted, like saying gross, wow, or oh my. 춥다 is conjugated in the plain form, which by itself is neither polite, rude, formal, nor informal. The plain form is used in situations where there's no specific intended audience, such as when talking out loud to yourself. Again, this is only when there's no specific intended audience. When used directly to someone else, the plain form becomes a type of casual speech. Note that all of the vocabulary for every conversation will be listed to the right, like it is here. The bottom part will contain any lesson materials that we need to cover. The bottom right has 1/3, meaning that there are 3 pages of information to this one line of conversation. So let's continue. For a quick review of the plain form, you'll use 나 instead of 저 in order to say I or me. How you conjugate the plain form in the present tense depends on whether the verb is an action verb or a descriptive verb. For action verbs, attach 니은, 다 to a verb stem that ends in a vowel. For example, 하다 becomes 한다. Or attach 는다 to a verb stem that ends in a consonant. For example, 먹다 becomes 먹는다. Verb stems that end with a lir will remove the lir and attach 니은 다. For example, 살다 becomes 산다. For descriptive verbs, simply attach 다 to the verb stem. This looks the same as the unconjugated form you would find in a dictionary. For example, 춥다 is just 춥다. To conjugate the plain form in the past tense, simply conjugate a verb to the past tense as usual using the 요 form. Then cut off any syllables after the double 시옷 ending, and then attach 다. For example, 하다 becomes 했어요, and so in the plain form it becomes 했다. Note that the verb 이다, meaning to be, becomes 이었다 after a consonant or 였다 after a vowel. To conjugate the plain form in the future tense, simply use the 겠다 form as usual, or the 것이다 form, which is commonly shortened to 거다. For example, 하다 can become either 하겠다 or 할 거다. Okay, now back to the conversation.
철수 씨 왔어요? 밖에 많이 춥죠?
Hi, Charsu. It's really cold outside, right? She is a polite title that is similar to saying Mr. or Mrs., etc. It's commonly used among coworkers, so it's possible that they work together. However, nowadays, 님 is more commonly used to strangers, after names, or simply as 님, because 님 is even more polite than she. Asking someone if they've arrived, here, 왔어요, is a common way to greet someone who you're familiar with. This is like saying, hi, you're here. Remember that the 지 or 조 ending is used to confirm what someone else has said, and is similar to the feeling of right, or huh, or isn't it?
네, 이번 겨울 들어서 오늘이 제일 추운 것 같아요.
Yes, since this winter has started, I think today's the coldest. 이번 is used instead of 이 whenever talking about an event or a time. So here, this winter. 들다 often appears as 들어서, the 서 being optional, and literally means since a time or a season has become or has started. 겨울 들어서 means since winter has started. Therefore, this sentence naturally means that ever since this winter has started, today is the coldest day so far. The 것 같다 form literally means that something seems a certain way and is used in this way to express what someone thinks. It's used after an adjective. Here, 춥다, to be cold, is conjugated to an adjective in the present tense as 추운.
그러니까요. 바람만 안 불어도 괜찮을 것 같은데.
I know! If it only weren't windy, I think it would be all right. 그러니까요 can be used when agreeing with someone else in informal speech. 바람만 안 불어도 comes from 바람이 불다, literally wind blows, and means even if only the wind didn't blow. More naturally, this is if only it weren't windy. Note that here, 괜찮다, meaning to be fine or all right, is conjugated to an adjective in the future tense as 괜찮을. Remember that the 대 form often translates as and, but, or though, and adds contrast between two parts of a sentence, before and after. It's used when explaining something or when introducing helpful information to the conversation, such as when setting up the stage or background for a story. It attaches directly after an adjective in the present tense. So here, 같다 becomes 같은데.
맞아요. 오늘은 정말 칼바람이에요. 제 코 빨개졌죠?
Right! Today the wind is so cold. My nose got red, huh? 칼바람 comes from 칼, meaning knife, and 바람, meaning wind, and literally means knife wind. Note that 코, meaning nose, is missing the subject marker here, which would be 가. It's common to remove markers, and sometimes also particles when speaking, as long as the meaning is still clear. 지다 is attached to a conjugated descriptive verb and means to become or to get. Here, 빨갛다, meaning to be red, conjugates normally as 빨개, which then becomes 빨개지다, meaning to become or to get red.
네, 철수 씨 지금 딱 루돌프 같아요.
Ha ha ha, yeah! Now you look just like Rudolph. Note that 네, meaning yes, can also translate naturally as just yeah or okay in any informal speech. 같다 can be used after a noun to mean to be like or to look like, as it's being used here, or to be the same.
내일은 마스크도 써야겠어요. 너무 춥네요, 정말.
I better wear a mask too tomorrow. It's so cold, really. 야겠다 comes from 야하다 or 야되다, meaning need to or have to, and the 겠다 ending, meaning would be or must be. Literally, someone would have to do something. This is used in informal speech to mean that someone should or better do something. 너무, meaning too much, can be used in informal speech to mean so for adding emphasis. Here, so cold. Remember that the neo ending is used to express surprise at something right now and is used when agreeing with someone else. It's similar to saying really, definitely, or just wow. 정말, meaning really, can be used in informal speech to add emphasis to something you've said, just like saying, I mean, really.
그러게요. 2달 전만 해도 겨울이 빨리 왔으면 했는데 이제 여름이 그리워요.
Yeah, even only 2 months ago, I was hoping winter came soon, but now I miss summer. 그러게요 is an informal expression that can be used when you agree with what someone else said. Yes, I agree in answer to what you just said. 겨울이 빨리 왔으면 했는데 comes from the 의면하다 form, meaning that someone hopes or wishes for something to happen. Here, hoping or wishing that winter came quickly. It's most often used with verbs in the past tense. So here, 왔으면. While 그립다 can be used to say that someone misses a person, it's typically only used that way in poems and songs. Instead, use 보고 싶다, meaning to want to see, to say that you miss someone, and use 그립다 to say that you miss something.
그래요? 그럼 영희 씨는 어떤 계절을 제일 좋아하세요?
Haha, yeah? Then what season do you like the most? 그래요 comes from 그렇다 and means to be so. So asking someone 그래요 literally means, is that so? Note that 어떤 is an adjective, so it must be used together with a noun. Here, 어떤 계절, what kind of season? Note that since 철수 and 영희 are likely co-workers and not close friends, they're speaking respectfully to each other. 철수 even ends his sentences with the honorific 좋아하세요 instead of simply 좋아해요. This comes from the honorific 으시다 ending, which attaches to verb stems and becomes 으세요 when conjugated to the 요 form.
저는 봄이요.
For me, spring. Here, using the topic marker, which is 은 or 는, which is used to set a new topic of a conversation, literally means, as for me, spring. By setting a new topic, the topic marker is commonly used in this way to add more emphasis to a word in the sentence, similarly to how someone might raise the intonation of a word up and then back down again when emphasizing a word in English. This is like saying, for me, it's spring, or, well, I like spring. Note that it can be impolite to simply end a sentence with a noun, so adding io can make the sentence more polite. Use io after a consonant or 요 after a vowel. Note that after any marker, only use 요.
봄 좋죠. 뭔가 새로 시작하는 느낌도 들고.
Spring is good, huh? It also feels like starting something new. 좋다, meaning to be good, is an extremely common word and can also be translated several ways, including to be nice or to be great. Here, spring is great or spring is nice would be a more natural translation. 새로 is an adverb that means something new happens, or something happens again in a new way. Here, 새로 시작하다 means to start anew or to start again in a new way. 뭔가 시작하는 느낌 means a feeling starting something. Note how 시작하다 is conjugated to an adjective in the present tense as 시작하는.
네, 저는 사실 생일이 봄이라서 봄을 좋아해요. 철수 씨는요?
Yes, in fact, my birthday is in the spring, so I like spring. What about you? Note that 이라서 is simply 이다, meaning to be, with the 서 ending. When 이다 conjugates with other grammar forms, such as 서 and others, it can become either 이어 and 여, or 이라 and 라. While 이라서 has the same meaning as 이어서 or 여서, 이다 will more commonly conjugate in speech to 이라 when used with other grammar forms. Remember that on its own, 이다 simply becomes 이에요 or 예요 in the 요 form. The ending 서, meaning because, also translates naturally in conversation as just so.
저는 추워도 겨울이 좋아요.
For me, even if it's cold, I like winter. 좋다, meaning to be good, is also used to mean to like when used with the first person, so I or me, or the second person, so you. Saying I like winter using 좋다 is like saying, as for me, winter is good. This usage is similar to using 좋아하다, meaning to like. But 좋아하다 is an action verb and uses an object marker, while 좋다 is a descriptive verb and does not use an object marker. For the third person, so to say he, she, or they, use 좋아하다 instead of 좋다.
정말요? 왜요?
Really? Why? Remember to use 이요 after a consonant or 요 after a vowel. However, for the consonant lir, you can use either 이요 or 요. Both 정말이요 and 정말요 are acceptable, although most often 요 is used.
겨울에 먹을 수 있는 맛있는 음식이 많아서요.
It's because there's a lot of food I can eat that tastes good in the winter. Note how 먹을 수 있는 맛있는 음식 uses two verbs together, 먹다 and 맛있다, to define 음식. Both of these are conjugated to adjectives in the present tense. 먹을 수 있다 becomes 먹을 수 있는, and 맛있다 becomes 맛있는. Remember that it can be impolite to end a sentence with a noun, so 이요 is added to 많아서, becoming 많아서요.
아, 그렇네요. 겨울엔 역시 붕어빵이죠.
Ah, that's right. In the winter, of course, it's 붕어빵. 붕어빵 is a sweet cake shaped like a carp, which is made from waffle batter and filled with various ingredients. They're most often sold during the winter time as a street food. 역시 is an adverb that's used whenever something is expected by the speaker, just like saying, I knew it. Here, 겨울엔 역시 붕어빵이죠 can more naturally translate as, when it comes to the winter time, nothing comes close to 붕어빵. This form, A plus topic marker, B, 이다, is commonly used to say, as for A, there's nothing quite like B.
맞아요. 저기 버스 정류장 앞에 있는 붕어빵집 되게 맛있는데 먹어봤어요?
That's right. The 붕어빵 shop in front of the bus stop over there is super good. But have you ever tried it? Note that while officially 버스 is pronounced as 버스, foreign words tend to be pronounced in speech using a double consonant. Here, 버스 is often pronounced as 버스. This also applies to other common foreign words such as 카페, which is 카페, game, which is game, 댄스, which is 댄스, and many others. 집, meaning a house or a home, is also used to refer to any sort of building that makes or sells food. 되게 is an adverb that can be used in speech to mean really. Note that although it can be used in informal speech, it has a casual feeling and should not be used in any more polite speech, such as to strangers. 보다 can be used after a conjugated verb to mean to try to do something. Literally, this form means to do and see how it goes. Here, 먹어보다 means to try eating something.
아니요. 이 근처에 붕어빵집이 있는지 몰랐어요. 혹시 슈붕도 파나요?
No, I didn't know there was a 붕어빵 shop in this area. Do they happen to sell custard cream 붕어빵 too? The 치 ending attaches to a verb stem and means whether or not, or if, and is used for any sort of unknown information. For descriptive verbs, it becomes 은지 or 니은지. And for action verbs, it becomes 는지. 지 is commonly used with the verbs 알다, meaning to know, and 모르다, meaning to not know, to say that you know or don't know some unknown information. 혹시 is an adverb that's often used when asking a question to make it sound more polite and less demanding. 슈붕 is a shortened version of 슈크림 붕어빵, using the first syllable from each word. Shortening words in this way is extremely common in informal speech, so look out for other words that use this same format. Remember that the 나요 or 가요 ending shows curiosity when asking a question, and also makes the question sound softer. Use 나요 with an action verb stem, so 하다 becomes 하나요. Or 가요 with a descriptive verb conjugated to an adjective. So this will become 은가 or 니은가. For example, 작다 becomes 작은가, and 크다 becomes 큰가. The past tense uses 나요 after all verb stems. For example, 하다 becomes 했어요 in the past tense, and its verb stem is 했, so it becomes 했나요.
네네, 거기 슈붕도 팔아요. 슈붕 좋아하세요?
Of course, they also sell custard cream 붕어빵 over there too. Do you like custard cream 붕어빵? 네네, literally yes, yes, is used when politely agreeing with what someone else says. It can also be used to tell someone, yes, go ahead and speak, on the phone or in person.
네. 철수 씨도 슈붕 파세요?
Yeah, are you also a custard cream 붕어빵 fan? 파 means a group or a faction, but is also used in slang to mean someone who prefers whatever it comes after. Here this can also translate as, are you on team 슈붕?
저 원래 슈붕 좋아하는데 그 집은 슈붕보다 팥붕이 맛있더라고요.
I normally like custard cream 붕어빵, but as for that shop, the red bean 붕어빵 was more delicious than the custard cream 붕어빵. 팥 is sweet red bean and is used in many traditional sweets and desserts. 보다 is used after a noun to make comparisons and means than. Optionally, 더, meaning more, is added after. 더라고요 is used to describe something that the speaker personally experienced in the past and means I remember or I recall. However, it's not always necessary to translate it like this, and it can simply translate as the regular past tense, such as here.
그럼 이따가 슈붕이랑 팥붕 둘 다 사봐야겠어요.
Then later I should try buying both custard cream 붕어빵 and red bean 붕어빵. 둘 다 comes from 둘, meaning two, and 다, meaning all, and is used to mean both when talking about two things. Now that we've gone over everything, let's listen to that full conversation one more time completely and try to follow along using what we've learned.
어우, 춥다.
철수 씨 왔어요? 밖에 많이 춥죠?
네, 이번 겨울 들어서 오늘이 제일 추운 것 같아요.
그러니까요. 바람만 안 불어도 괜찮을 것 같은데.
맞아요. 오늘은 정말 칼바람이에요. 제 코 빨개졌죠?
네. 철수 씨 지금 딱 루돌프 같아요.
내일은 마스크도 써야겠어요. 너무 춥네요, 정말.
그러게요. 2달 전만 해도 겨울이 빨리 왔으면 했는데 이제 여름이 그리워요.
그래요? 그럼 영희 씨는 어떤 계절을 제일 좋아하세요?
저는 봄이요.
봄 좋죠. 뭔가 새로 시작하는 느낌도 들고.
네. 저는 사실 생일이 봄이라서 봄을 좋아해요. 철수 씨는요?
저는 추워도 겨울이 좋아요.
정말요? 왜요?
겨울에 먹을 수 있는 맛있는 음식이 많아서요.
아, 그렇네요. 겨울엔 역시 붕어빵이죠.
맞아요. 저기 버스 정류장 앞에 있는 붕어빵집 되게 맛있는데 먹어봤어요?
아니요? 이 근처에 붕어빵집이 있는지 몰랐어요. 혹시 슈붕도 파나요?
네네. 거기 슈붕도 팔아요. 슈붕 좋아하세요?
네. 철수 씨도 슈붕 파세요?
저 원래 슈붕 좋아하는데 그 집은 슈붕보다 팥붕이 맛있더라고요.
그럼 이따가 슈붕이랑 팥붕 둘 다 사봐야겠어요.
Okay, here are some final notes on this lesson before we finish it. Grammar forms, vocabulary words, and expressions introduced in this course will only be taught once, except where necessary. So remember to do each lesson in order and take notes along the way. Now, don't worry if you can't understand everything 100%, even with the literal explanations. Natural conversations will often not translate naturally. Try to feel the conversation and ultimately accept that Koreans just speak uniquely. Again, don't rush. Feel free to replay the conversation until you can follow along. Once you can follow along, congratulations! You've just understood an entire natural Korean conversation. Again, if you find something that you're not familiar with, I recommend reviewing it by using my free video series, Beginner Korean Course, watching other lessons, or checking in a dictionary. And that is all for this lesson. Remember that natural Korean conversations can range in difficulty, from beginner level all the way to advanced. So take your time, practice everything in this lesson, and rewatch it if you need to, and I'll see you again in the next lesson. 그럼 다음에 또 봐!